There are people listening to these words right now who have felt out of place for most of their lives. Deep inside, you always sensed that your path would not look like everyone else's. You tried blending in. You tried shrinking yourself so others would feel comfortable around you. Yet no matter how much you adjusted, there was still a voice inside reminding you that your life carried a different assignment. Hear this carefully because it matters more than you know. You were never created to live an ordinary story. Heaven has been shaping your journey long before you understood what was happening. If this message has reached you today, it is not random timing. Something powerful is unfolding around your life at this very moment. This may become the exact moment where everything begins to change direction for you. Stay with these words until the end, because your spirit needs this reminder now more than ever. Type Amen if your soul can feel that God is preparing something greater than what you have seen so far. What is coming next will stretch your understanding, because the transformation taking place inside you is unlike anything you've experienced before. There were seasons when you felt isolated and misunderstood, moments where people judged you unfairly or walked away without explanation. There were nights you questioned your purpose and wondered whether God still remembered your name, but heaven never lost sight of you. Even during your darkest hours, God was still working behind the curtain of your pain. Every hardship carried a purpose. Every delay was building strength within you. Every disappointment was shaping your spirit for the future waiting ahead. The individuals marked by God often endure battles others cannot understand. They pass through valleys that force them to depend completely on Him. They are refined through pressure until their character becomes strong enough to carry divine responsibility. That's why your journey has not been easy. You are being prepared for something larger than your current understanding. While others overlooked you, God was molding you in secret. While people underestimated your value, heaven was strengthening your spirit. And soon there will come a moment where you look at your own life and barely recognize the person you have become. A confidence you never carried before will rise inside you. Fear that once controlled your thoughts will lose its grip. The confusion that clouded your mind will begin to disappear as God releases fresh direction over your future. You will speak with boldness instead of insecurity. You will move with wisdom instead of panic. The same person who once doubted themselves will begin walking with peace and authority, because the Spirit of God will rest heavily upon your life. This transformation is not about pretending to be someone else. It is about becoming the version of yourself Heaven always intended you to become. The old identity rooted in fear, shame, and disappointment is fading away. God is creating something completely new within you. Do not ignore the stirring happening in your heart right now. That feeling is deeper than emotion. Your spirit is responding to truth. Heaven has heard every prayer you whispered in private. Every tear that fell when nobody was around was seen by God. The silence you endured was never proof that He abandoned you. Even when you felt forgotten, He was still guiding your steps. There is still a plan over your life, and it is greater than the setbacks you experienced. God specializes in restoring broken places. He turns painful chapters into testimonies that inspire others. The same wounds that once made you feel weak will become evidence of His power working through you. One day, the people who doubted your future will witness the favor resting over your life and realize God was with you the entire time. Doors that once seemed impossible will begin opening unexpectedly. Conversations will happen that shift your future. Opportunities you prayed for years ago will suddenly appear before you. And when these things happen, understand clearly that it will not be because of your own strength alone. It will happen because God decided to breathe upon your life. Heaven does not wait for perfect people. God prepares ordinary people for extraordinary assignments. And during all the hidden seasons where nobody noticed your obedience, Heaven was paying attention. Comment 99 if you believe God has been preparing you for a greater purpose, even during the painful seasons. What looked like delay was actually preparation happening beneath the surface. What felt like rejection was protection, redirecting your path away from things that would have harmed your future. Right now, God is arranging events you cannot yet see. Certain people are being positioned. Certain opportunities are being aligned. Breakthroughs are moving closer to your life, even if you cannot fully recognize them yet. Do not become discouraged if others fail to understand the change happening within you. They cannot fully recognize what Heaven is doing in secret. God is clothing you with a different kind of strength. It is not something human effort can produce. It is spiritual. The enemy attempted to exhaust your mind, distract your focus, and convince you to quit. Yet despite every attack, you are still standing today. That alone proves there is something powerful living inside you. God's Spirit has sustained you through every battle. When heaven declares someone chosen, darkness has no authority to erase that calling. You are alive because your assignment is not finished. Your story still carries purpose. Even now, transformation is already unfolding inside you. Your thoughts are becoming sharper. Your priorities are shifting. The need for constant approval from people is slowly losing power over you. Instead, your heart is becoming more sensitive to God's direction. That change is evidence that healing has begun. God is removing the false layers built through pain and revealing the real person underneath all the hurt. Soon there will be moments where you notice how different you have become. The peace within you will surprise even you. Situations that once destroyed your emotions will no longer control your reactions. Your presence will carry calmness instead of chaos. The change happening inside you will naturally affect the way you speak, think, and move through life. And it will not come from forcing yourself to change. It will happen because you continued trusting God even while you lacked answers. Never believe the lie that heaven has ignored you. God is actively working around your life right now. Certain things are being removed because they were never meant to continue into your next season. Some of the pressure you feel is not punishment. It is preparation. Destiny is pushing against the walls of delay. Something sacred is trying to emerge from your current season. Do not run away from the process. Lean into God's presence during these moments, because He is developing strength inside you that the enemy cannot destroy. The attacks that were sent to break you will ultimately become the reason you rise stronger than before. Every storm will become fuel for your growth. Every disappointment will teach wisdom. Every painful experience will deepen your compassion and strengthen your spirit. Later you will look back over your journey and finally understand why certain things had to happen the way they did. You were not selected for a life of comfort alone. You were chosen to carry influence, authority, and spiritual impact. Favor will follow your steps into places where others expected you to fail. The presence of God will surround you everywhere you go. You are not abandoned. You never were. The same God who protected His people throughout Scripture is still protecting you today. The same power that performed miracles centuries ago is still active now. You are no longer the person you used to be. The old version of yourself is fading more each day. A new identity is emerging through the hand of God. Remain faithful through this process. Stay connected to His presence. The greatest moments of your life have not happened yet. Future chapters are being prepared that will exceed everything you once imagined. Stay spiritually alert because heaven is moving closer than you realize. Something extraordinary is approaching your life. You are standing near a major turning point where your entire future can shift. There will soon come a season where your own past struggles will barely recognize the person you have become through God's power. Comment 22 if your spirit feels confirmation while hearing these words. This moment was not accidental. God guided you here intentionally. Even if life currently feels uncertain, understand that confusion does not come from Him. He is bringing clarity little by little. The fog surrounding your mind is lifting. Dreams you once abandoned are beginning to awaken again. Visions you buried beneath disappointment are being revived. The fire inside you is returning stronger than before. Exhaustion does not mean you have been defeated. The fact that you are still breathing means purpose still exists within you. God is shaping you into someone who walks by faith instead of appearances. A person who continues obeying even without applause from others. That is the mark of a chosen life. It means trusting God while circumstances still look impossible. It means remaining faithful even when nobody celebrates your obedience. Many people around you cannot see what God is building internally. That is all right, because real transformation often happens quietly. A seed buried beneath the ground appears invisible for a season, but deep below the surface, life is forming. Growth is taking place even before visible results appear. In the same way, heaven has been developing your future in hidden places. Soon the evidence will become impossible to ignore. You do not need to constantly defend yourself to people who misunderstand your journey. Your responsibility is simply to remain close to God. He is the one constructing your foundation. You are not being destroyed. You are being planted for future growth. Certain losses you've experienced were actually protection in disguise. Some doors had to close because they would have distracted you from your assignment. Some relationships had to end because they could not accompany you into the future God prepared for you. Heaven sometimes removes things not to punish you, but to create room for something better. God prunes what he loves so greater growth can emerge later. The spiritual battles surrounding your life are deeper than you realize. Some of the warfare you face concerns generational cycles that heaven intends to break through you. Fear, addiction, shame, limitation, poverty. Those chains are losing power over your bloodline because God is raising you up differently. You are becoming the interruption to patterns that existed long before your birth. Do not be surprised that opposition increased around your life. Darkness always resists those carrying purpose. The enemy recognizes potential before many people do. Yet, despite every attack, God has not forgotten a single promise spoken over your future. What he declared will still come to pass. But first, your character must become strong enough to sustain the blessing. God is strengthening your discernment. He is deepening your spiritual maturity. He is preparing your heart for responsibilities greater than anything you currently carry. The version of you that is emerging now can handle things the old version could not survive. There will come a morning where peace settles over your soul in a way you've never experienced before. Anxiety will lose control over your thoughts. Situations that once triggered fear will no longer dominate your emotions. You will stop shrinking yourself to satisfy others. You will finally understand that you were never designed to blend into the crowd. Heaven created you to stand apart. Stop apologizing for the way God created you. You are not excessive. You are not too emotional. You are not too passionate. The gifts inside you were placed there intentionally. Your voice carries influence. Your prayers carry spiritual power. Your obedience changes environments around you. Walk confidently in that truth with humility and gratitude toward God. None of your suffering has been wasted. Every lonely night, every painful memory, every unanswered question has been used by heaven for a greater purpose. God has been building endurance inside you that pain could not destroy. Your scars are becoming evidence of survival and victory. What once felt like weakness will become the very thing that encourages someone else to keep going. People will begin noticing something different about your presence. They may say you seem brighter or more peaceful, without fully understanding why. What they are witnessing is the effect of God's glory resting upon your life. Fire either destroys or refines. In your case, it refined you. You did not merely survive difficult seasons. You emerged carrying wisdom, strength, and spiritual light. You are not behind schedule. Heaven's timing operates differently from the world's expectations. While others rush anxiously trying to force doors open, God is carefully directing your steps. When the right moment arrives, nobody will be able to steal what heaven assigned to you. There is no need to compete with anyone. Your responsibility is to remain surrendered and faithful where God has placed you. Comment 99 if you sense the Holy Spirit moving deeply within your heart right now. God is removing shame from your identity. He is silencing lies that convinced you that you were not enough. Your value does not come from human opinions. It comes from belonging to the King of Kings. Heaven does not make mistakes concerning your life. One day you will stand surrounded by blessings you once prayed for in tears. You will look around in amazement, wondering how God brought you this far, and the answer will be simple. He honored your faithfulness. He saw the moments when nobody else noticed your endurance. He rewarded the quiet obedience hidden from public attention. The person you are becoming carries authority that darkness cannot easily resist. Your words will begin carrying weight. Your presence will shift atmospheres. Healing, wisdom, and courage will flow through your life because God's Spirit will rest heavily upon you. And when that season fully arrives, even you will look back at your old self and barely recognize who you have become. The person you are becoming will feel unfamiliar to you because this new version was not formed by pain, pressure, or the opinions of people. This version is being created through the power of God's Spirit, working deeply within you. Many of you have sensed something shifting lately. Even during quiet moments, your soul has felt unsettled. Everything around you may appear normal, but inside there is movement. That feeling is not meaningless. Your spirit recognizes that a major turning point is close. Something hidden is preparing to emerge, and your inner being can already feel the weight of it before it fully appears in the natural world. The exhaustion you have been carrying does not mean you are losing. What you have felt is spiritual stretching. God has been enlarging your inner capacity because the assignment ahead of you is greater than anything you once imagined for yourself. The pressure has purpose. The waiting has purpose. Even the uncomfortable moments have been shaping you for what comes next. Comment 777 if your spirit can feel that change drawing near. The chapter ahead will not resemble the season behind you. The battles that once crushed your heart will no longer hold authority over your life. Individuals who wounded you in the past will no longer have access to the healed version of you that God is raising up. Thoughts that once screamed fear and condemnation over your life will lose their grip as the Spirit of God strengthens your mind from within. God never intended for you to carry everything through human strength alone. He is inviting you into surrender, because surrender opens the door for His power to move freely in your life. When you release control, heaven begins fighting battles you could never win by yourself. God begins transforming your identity until you no longer live trying to reach victory. Instead, you begin living from a place of victory already secured through Him. Sometimes God removes familiar things from your life, and at first it feels painful. It can feel like loss, rejection, or confusion. But His intention is not destruction. His intention is restoration. Anything He takes away is something that cannot survive where He is leading you next. Some of you are still gripping things God already told you to release. Old environments, unhealthy attachments, toxic habits, expired mindsets. Let them go completely, because hands filled with yesterday cannot receive tomorrow's blessing. The new season approaching your life requires space. That space is created through obedience. Comfort will always try to keep you where you are, but obedience will move you toward destiny. Stop chasing approval from people who were never assigned to validate you. Your value was already established by God long before anyone had an opinion about you. The Spirit of God lives inside you. The very same power that conquered death now rests within your life. Think about that truth carefully. Heaven's authority is alive in you. Strength flows through your words. Divine purpose rests inside your spirit. You are not helpless, forgotten, or powerless. You are carrying holy authority, whether you fully realize it yet or not. It is time to believe what God says about you, instead of believing the fear that tried to limit you. Very soon, unexpected opportunities will begin appearing. Certain doors that once looked permanently closed will suddenly reopen. Things you assumed were over may return in ways you never expected. This will not happen because of manipulation or striving. It will happen because God remembers every seed you planted in faith, even when nobody else noticed. A harvest season is approaching your life. When it arrives, do not shrink back from it. Do not minimize what God is doing. Step boldly into everything He prepared for you. The hidden season is ending. God is about to allow your light to shine publicly, not for personal pride, but so people can witness His goodness through your transformation. The enemy has spent years trying to convince you that you are still damaged, still disqualified, still too afraid to be used by God. But God says His power works most strongly through surrendered weakness. You do not need to feel fearless before you obey Him. You only need to say yes. That yes may come through shaking hands and uncertain emotions. It may not sound bold or impressive to other people, but in heaven, one sincere yes carries more authority than 1,000 empty promises. God works through willing hearts, not perfect people. Comment 1010 if your spirit is willing, even while your emotions are still trembling. There are angels assigned to your journey right now. Though your eyes cannot see them, heaven's protection surrounds your life daily. Angels stand guard around your home. They watch over your family. They battle unseen darkness on your behalf while you sleep, pray, and continue moving forward. You are not abandoned. Every step you take is known by the God who created every star in existence. He has already declared that no weapon formed against you will succeed. Attacks may arise, but they will not overcome you because God's hand remains upon your life. Do not hate the quiet seasons where nothing seems to happen outwardly. Those hidden seasons are where intimacy with God becomes real. In silence, your ears become trained to recognize His voice. Your spirit becomes sharper. You begin learning the difference between distraction and discernment. That discernment will protect you in future seasons, because not everyone celebrating you truly supports you. Not every opportunity comes from God. Some doors look beautiful while hiding destruction behind them. This is why God has been sharpening your spiritual awareness. When important moments arrive, you will not be deceived by appearances. You will move through revelation instead of emotion. You are becoming someone who carries light into dark places without fear. You are becoming someone who no longer runs after acceptance, because heaven already chose you. You are becoming someone who responds through wisdom instead of reacting through wounded emotions. This transformation happening inside you is holy even when it feels painful. God is producing eternal fruit through every difficult process you have survived. The growth happening in your life is bigger than your own story. Future generations will benefit from your obedience. The healing you fight for today will impact people you may never even meet. Some assignments God places before you will feel intimidating, but that is because they require faith. If you could accomplish everything through your own strength, there would be no need for dependence on God. Faith is what unlocks impossible things within the kingdom of God. As you continue stepping forward despite fear, paths will begin appearing where nothing once existed. Situations that seemed uncertain will become clear because whenever God directs your steps, He also provides the way forward. New spiritual gifts are awakening inside many of you even now. Dreams filled with revelation, increased spiritual sensitivity, compassion that reaches deeper than before, wisdom beyond your own understanding. Do not ignore these things. Lean closer to God and pay attention, because heaven is preparing you for what lies ahead. Your presence itself will begin bringing peace into chaotic environments. Without speaking many words, people will feel God's presence through you. The glory resting upon your life cannot be manufactured or copied. It comes from hidden hours of prayer, unseen battles, tears cried in private, and moments where you kept trusting God while nobody understood your struggle. You are no longer the person you used to be, and you should thank God for that truth. The individual you are becoming is far stronger, wiser, and freer. Not because of human effort, but because of what Jesus accomplished through the cross. You have been made whole through grace. You are covered in righteousness that could never be earned through works. God's mercy has rewritten your story. The world constantly tries to define identity through status, success, appearance, or failure. But your identity must come from what God speaks over you. You are chosen. You are set apart. You belong to heaven. You were never designed to disappear into the crowd. You were created to carry something sacred into this generation. The Spirit of the living God dwells within you, and no failure, delay, or difficult season can erase that truth. You are loved more deeply than your mind can fully understand. You are forgiven completely. You are protected in ways your natural eyes cannot always see. Slowly but powerfully, you are rising like the sunrise after a long night of darkness. Even if you cannot yet see the full picture, light is increasing around your life. Darkness is losing its hold. As you continue walking with God, you will begin living side prayers you once whispered through tears. The transformation you have prayed for is not something far away in the future. It has already begun. Every act of faith, every whispered prayer, every moment of trust is helping build the new person God is forming inside you. The Spirit of God often moves quietly before demonstrating power openly. Right now, He is breathing life into places inside you that once felt dry, hopeless, or forgotten. Dreams you buried beneath disappointment are being awakened again. Destinies you assumed were dead are only resting until the proper moment. Your faith is about to speak life into things you thought were permanently lost. Some of you have survived seasons where you felt completely alone. You felt unseen by people, misunderstood by family, forgotten by friends. But God never lost sight of you. He sees beyond the version you show the world. He sees the real person underneath the survival mask. He sees every wound, every hidden tear, every silent prayer. You are not abandoned. You are hidden safely within God while He prepares you for what comes next. There are breakthroughs He delayed because He was protecting you from receiving them too early. One day, you will thank Him for every delay because premature exposure could have destroyed what He was trying to build inside you. Not every opportunity comes from heaven. Some invitations are distractions disguised as advancement. Some platforms carry hidden traps. That is why God closed certain doors when you begged Him to open them. He was protecting your future even while you misunderstood the process. But the appointed season is approaching quickly now. Comment 333 if you believe your appointed time is getting closer. You are entering a version of yourself that no longer lives controlled by human opinions. Storms that once shook your peace will no longer have power over your mind. This strength does not come from becoming cold-hearted. It comes from healing. God has been rebuilding your heart from the inside outward. He has been untangling lies from your identity, breaking destructive patterns, and renewing your thinking. The real you is finally beginning to rise, the version of you that remains peaceful while others panic, the version of you that recognizes God's voice even in confusion, the version of you that speaks truth boldly and loves people genuinely. You were never created simply to fit into the culture around you. You were created to transform environments through God's presence. That is why you always felt different from the crowd. The crowd could never satisfy your spirit because your assignment was never connected to popularity. Your assignment is connected to purpose. The purpose resting on your life is larger than your upbringing, larger than your fears, and larger than your current understanding. God placed something inside you that this generation desperately needs. The enemy recognized your potential long ago, which is why he has spent years trying to distract, discourage, and silence you. Yet despite every attack, you are still here, you are still breathing, you are still believing God for more. That alone proves purpose remains alive within you. Do not quit now because you are closer than you realize. None of your pain has been wasted. Every tear, every battle, every delay has been preparing you for what is ahead. God is not only preparing blessings for your life, He is preparing your character to sustain those blessings properly. A gift released at the wrong time can become overwhelming, but a blessing released in God's timing becomes beautiful. Trust His timing even when it feels slower than expected. Other people may appear ahead of you, but your life is not a competition. You are walking according to divine alignment. Nobody can outrun what God specifically designed for your destiny. Some spiritual attacks came against your life, not because of your current position, but because darkness recognized where God intends to take you. The enemy fears what will happen once you fully understand your identity in Christ. That is why discouragement has fought you so aggressively. But the enemy is a liar. God's truth over your life is stronger than every lie spoken against you. You are chosen by God. You are called by heaven. You are covered by grace. Your life itself is evidence that God still restores broken people and turns pain into purpose. Your past does not disqualify you. Grace has empowered you. Grace is not weakness. It is resurrection power working within human weakness. Walk boldly in that truth. Let grace transform the way you think, speak, and live. Comment 911 if you receive that grace over your life today. God is creating something within your story that human minds could never fully imagine. The testimony He is writing through your life will leave people speechless. When others ask how you survived everything that tried to destroy you, your answer will simply be God. Only God could have carried you this far. Your wilderness season is ending. Dry places are about to overflow with life again. Silence is about to break with clarity from heaven. God will guide you so clearly that confusion will no longer control your decisions. You will not have to force open doors. His Spirit will lead you. His peace will confirm your direction. Healing is coming into every area of your life. God is restoring hearts, relationships, minds, bodies, and broken dreams. He is turning ashes into beauty and pain into praise. The fire you survived did not destroy you because God made you stronger than what tried to consume you. This is not your ending. It is the beginning of the life God originally designed for you. You are stepping into a transformation that cannot be reversed. Heaven has been preparing you privately for a purpose that will eventually become visible publicly. You are no longer merely surviving life. You are entering a season marked by victory, joy, peace, abundance, and purpose. You will dream again. You will trust again. You will love again. But this time you will not be doing it through human strength alone. You will be walking side by side with God. Certain delays happened because God refused to allow you settling for less than His best. You have outgrown old environments, old relationships, and even old ways of seeing yourself. Expansion is taking place inside your spirit right now, even when circumstances still appear unchanged. Comment 1717 if you believe God is preparing you for something beyond your current understanding. You asked God to use your life for something meaningful, and heaven heard that prayer. But before God sends people into purpose, He first develops their character deeply. Before elevation comes preparation. This entire season has been about building strength within you that can withstand future pressure. God has been removing weak foundations from your life and replacing them with stability, because what is coming next will require spiritual depth, wisdom, and maturity. He is preparing you not only to reach higher places, but also to remain standing there with integrity, strength, and unwavering faith.